The other day, as I was walking into a meeting, I passed several tables of friends, but as I came across this one table, one of the friends looked up, touched my arm to stop me, and she said, "I love the things you are posting on YouTube." This person was Wanda. That touch of kindness just meant so much to me because I have been praying that the YouTube videos I'm making, the passages from the Bible that I'm sharing, the books written by Joy, such wonderful Christian books, but again, the act of kindness, that touch on the arm, that sharing those few words with me meant so very much. They were so powerful. So this morning I decided that I would do this today about kindness. Of course, I looked in several sections to try to get the best wording I could, and this is what I came up with. Kindness is a type of behavior. It's marked by acts of generosity, consideration, or concern for others, without expecting praise or reward in return. One of the descriptions that said kindness was the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. The other words they connected to it were kindliness, kind-hearted, warm-heartedness, tender-heartedness. To Christians, kindness is our everyday, every moment behavior. We're called to become like Jesus Christ. The Bible teaches in Galatians 5, verse 22, it lists the fruits of the Spirit. Believers are to put kindness, tenderness, and forgiveness in their thoughts and in their hearts. These three virtues, kindness, tenderness, and forgiveness, also deal with interpersonal relationships. The graciousness of God, which is found in Jesus Christ, shows us what it meant to be kind to one another. Because God acts kindly toward us, we're to behave the same way to others. Because Christ offered grace as the basis for our forgiveness, so we should do that too. Being kind to one another is not optional for people of God, for Christians. In Micah chapter 6, verse 8, the King James Version, He hath shown thee, O man, what is good, and what doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with God. There are many other verses in the Bible, if you want to look these up. Zechariah chapter 7, verse 9, 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 8, and of course Ephesians 5, verse 1 to 2. Paul instructed the Ephesians to imitate God in everything you do because you are His children. Live a life filled with love, following the example of Christ. Walking in love means following Jesus. Paul reiterated that teaching on kindness to the Colossians, quote, "Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. And over all these virtues, put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity," unquote. Of course, we know that compassion and kindness are closely linked. Compassion can be defined as heartfelt sympathy or empathy towards those who are suffering or in need. Kindness is the helpful spirit that sees someone else in need and is motivated to respond through good deeds. Kindness is the tangible action that results from compassion. Kindness goes beyond words. It translates into helping others. In the NASB version, the natives showed us extraordinary kindness, for they kindled a fire and took all of us in out of the rain and that started because of the cold. That was from Acts 28, verse 2. Being kind one to another is how we show love. Love is patient. Love is kind. And that's from 1 Corinthians 13:4. Being kind to one another involves caring for others, bearing their burdens, and valuing them. Expressing support and affirmation instead of condemnation is a characteristic of kindness. In Matthew 5, verse 7, blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. In Luke 6, verse 36, CSB version, be merciful just as your Father also is merciful. Of course, the most phenomenal example of this is found in God's supreme act of kindness. He provided for our forgiveness and salvation when He sent His only Son to die for us on a cross. You can see how wonderfully kind, tolerant, and patient that God is with each of us. See, His kindness is intended to turn you away from sin. The Holy Spirit is talking to you, guiding you. The Holy Spirit is in you. Some people call it their conscience when they're being shared what is right, what is wrong, what's the correct path to go on. So we give God the glory. Kindness is the characteristic that led God to provide salvation for us. That's in Titus chapter 3, verses 4 to 5. Another one in Romans 2, verse 4, or Romans 11, verse 22. Kindness leads God to give us green pastures, quiet waters, and the restoration of our souls when we're weary. And of course that sounds so familiar because it's from Psalms 23, when the shepherd guides us. It's God's tender care that makes Him want to gather us under His wings to protect us and keep us close. God expressed kindness when He provided Elijah and the widow of Zarephath during a drought, and He showed more kindness when He raised the widow's son from the dead. When Sarah exiled Hagar and Ishmael, God gave the outcast kindness in the form of water and hope. On multiple occasions, kindness induced Jesus to stop what He was doing and help others in need. Mark 6, verse 34, Mark 7, verse 29, Mark 10, verses 46 to 52. Kindness leads the Good Shepherd to rescue us when we stray away. In kindness, He gathers us as He would gather His lambs in His arm, puts us close to His heart, and He gently leads those that have young. When we exhibit the kindness of God, we're tender, benevolent, useful to others. Every action, every word will have the flavor of grace in it. To maintain this attitude toward those we love is not hard. To express kindness toward those who are against us, though, requires the work of God, and that's in 2 Corinthians 6, verses 4 to 6. That's why kindness is a fruit of the Spirit.